Tony! Hello, buddy. Way more excited. Cheers. What are you doing?
Oh. See, you got that big old hole there.
Oh yeah, that looks a little bit like a problem.
So we're trying to fix that.
Yeah, bud. So the cool thing about, well, I mean, I guess let's just get into what he's doing. First of all, he's fixing the floors for us because, as you know, there's a giant floor hole in the floor on the E30 because the previous owner had a leaking heater core that leaked onto the floor, and then on both sides. There's rust holes. The driver's side, unfortunately, got it worse, but this is going to be cool because it doubles. So now Tony's sealing up the floor, and he's welding in this nice thick plate, and we're actually going to mount the tilt and pedal assembly to it. So it kind of does two things. We're repatching the floor and resealing it, and then we're also mounting that Series 600 pedal assembly in there. Something like that. Bada bomba. But that's not what we're here for today. Today, we're going to film some videos on that, don't get me wrong. Touching on that. But we got a couple other things that we've been figuring out. Tony's going to be doing a lot of work on this car actually for me. He's handling the pedal assembly, the cooling system that we got some pieces for. I'll touch on the issues on like those things and what we're going to be doing on those when we get there. But today's video, I want to talk about this little piece right here. There's a lot of controversy around this product here. This is a power steering delete. I don't think any of us really understood how it worked. It's kind of on us because the product comes with instructions and we're just stupid. But here it is. It is the power steering delete block from Condor Speed Shop. Now, I was going to put the power steering pump in this car, put a reservoir in, and do all that. One, I don't want to clutter this whole side. Two, the E30 is really light and the steering wheel is really light when the car's on the floor. I don't want to put power steering in this car because I wanted to kind of make it a little bit more simple. With that being said, we hit up our boys at Condor Speed Shop, and as always, they supplied us some parts. This is the power steering delete block. The reason this is controversial is because we put it on multiple cars, and we've had issues where the car steering almost gets harder than what it was without this on. Here's the problem. Prior to installing this block, you need to drain your power steering rack of its fluid. Now, I don't know if the technique I just did is going to work, but I'll tell you what I did. I took off the lines, and I took the steering wheel, and I cycled it lock to lock until fluid stopped coming out of the banjo bolt holes on the power steering rack itself. The reason that you need to do that is because if you look closely, there's those two ports in there, and they connect these two screws together. Those are only supposed to push air to each side of the rack. Air is supposed to travel through those. If you do not drain your power steering rack, you will be pushing fluid through these, and it does not like that. It makes the steering a lot harder. Frankie's going through something like this on his E90 M50, the one that all of you guys won't stop asking about, which we'll have an update on that car here pretty soon. Once your rack is empty, then you would reinstall your banjo bolts with the supplied crush washers that come in the kit. You have your OE bolts, and then you have these crush washers that Condor Speed Shop sends out so you can put freshies on this and it doesn't leak. Now, there still needs to be a little bit of fluid in there because you need to have lubrication in the rack. So right now, I'll show you what the steering wheel turns like. I know it's up in the air, but the idea is that there's no fluid in it. I'll go ahead and install this. So there's one banjo bolt that goes up there, and then there's one right below it. So this block will sit in there like that with these ports toward the top, or these plugs toward the top. Pretty simple. See what it does now. Oh, you can't see because of glare. Still turns pretty freely. Look what happens when you follow the rules, Frankie. Damn. There it is, pretty simple. So it's not really hard. And again, the E30 chassis is extremely light. We got to do it to yours because Frankie installed his on his car. This is what I mean by the controversy. He didn't read that. So he never drained the fluid. And to be honest, I never read the rules either, or the directions.
I knew it was wrong, and I was like, ugh. I'm like, I think I did it wrong.
Did something wrong here. But it's installed, so now we got to do it to your E90. I'm excited to have this thing kind of be more of a bare bones car. It'll have no power assisted steering, no power assisted brakes. And I don't know what else is supposed to be power assisted, but it has none of that. So should be pretty quick, should be pretty clean. But I just wanted to come on here and show you guys real fast the power steering delete works. Is it feasible with an angle kit? I'm not sure yet. Frankie has an angle kit on his E90, so we'll find out on that. I'm planning on putting maybe something small on this. I don't want to really change the way the wheel sits under the fender. I like that it sits in there, so maybe something like a mini kit or something like that just goes on the knuckle. That should be plenty good for the E30. I know that all the guys at Condor that race spec E30s all have a delete plate on their setup. And they're doing like regular racing. With the chassis being lighter and the tire being a little bit narrower, I don't see that being a problem at all with this car. So we can do an update video maybe eventually. If you guys want to see that, we'll throw it in the video, how it feels. Maybe on our first drive we'll kind of mention the power steering as well. But huge shout out to Condor Speed Shop. Thank you. We got a bunch of other videos that are going to be coming out. So if you haven't already, subscribe so you don't miss any of the build content on the E30 beams. There's also a bunch of other stuff we do like rally and drifting, and we're even going to do some stuff on Frankie's car. And then even Tony's car. Tony's getting his motor back soon for his 1 Series. So we'll be back on the track again. That one day that I let the boys drive my car at the track, put a little spark back in their eyes. Look at the little twinkle. See that little twinkle in his eyes?
I emptied my bank account.
Yeah.
Not the whole bank.
Got him! Not the whole bank account, but we're working on it. I want the boys to come drive with me. So, as always, thank you guys for watching. Stay safe.
Adios.
Alright guys, you made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you want to support the channel in another way, you can head to holdfast-usa.com. Buy anything on the website. It helps us keep this content coming to you. Huge thanks to the sponsors as well who support all these different series that we want to bring you guys. Give them a follow, give them a like, tell them Micah sent you. As always, boys, stay safe.